The first thing that I'm going to tell you is it's not going to work. Now, the reason why I say it's not going to work, just follow me, because God has a way of revealing truth. Somebody say revealing truth. Now, I'm going to give y'all a story time. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you this. There are so many connections that have been delayed, damaged, and destroyed because somebody was spewing lies or planting bad seeds. And this reminds me of the wheat and the tares. You know, the wheat being the good grain and the tares being bad. And so these two things, you know, in the Bible, if you look it up, God told the farmer not to touch it, because these two things are going to grow up together, and then God is going to tear away, you know, rip away the tares so that the good will still be left there, which is the wheat. That's what it reminds me of. But let me go into my story time. God always reveals truth. Now I was at work and I'm sitting at my post and I'm just, you know, chilling to myself. And what came in my mind was it's not going to work, right? And as I'm hearing that, there was something that happened to me in high school that flashed back into my mind. I was like, now where did this come from? So listen, I just let God minister to me about that. And I was like, I need to speak about this. So let me tell you this. I was in high school and it was this guy, you know, this guy that I met, you know, the first year we had the same math class, and I think he had a brother. And well, they might have been stepbrothers or something like that. Anyway, so me and this guy, we went had a math class together. Now, however, this guy was really cute, and I did have a crush on him, but I never told him. So, you know, he found out in math class that I didn't have a locker, right? So he offered to share his locker with me, and I wasn't complaining because, yeah, I want to share a locker with you. But I just said, okay, thank you. So after class, he walked me to the locker and he was like, okay, this our locker right here. This, you know, whatever, this the code, you know, for our, you know, locker. And honey, whew, like I say, at least I thought he was fine. So, and anyway, I might have told one of my friend girls back then, but however, let me speed up the story. So we sharing the locker, you know, this is our freshman year or sophomore year, something like that. And, you know, I liked him and I noticed that, you know, we always look at each other. Now, I never said anything to him about it. You know, this is just a crush I have. I ain't saying not a word. So, but I do know that, you know, every time, you know, you be in the hallways, I noticed that if I'm, you know, with a group of people, I always will look up and see him looking at me. We always meet eyes all the time. And I remember, you know, when we used to go to the locker and I used to be there, he used to come up and walk behind me. And I wouldn't complain about that either because, like I said, I had a crush on him. And, you know, he was fine to me. He was fine to me. So, you know, anyways, time go on. Now, his brother, come on now, this remind me of Cain. So this one of these situations that remind me of Cain and Abel. So his stepbrother or his brother, whatever, I remember one day I was standing, you know, getting ready to go to another class. It was overtime. Now, however, me and this guy used to talk on the phone too. So, like I said, it's like an unspoken crush. You know, at least that's what I'm thinking. We used to talk on the phone. Now, however, he'll sit there and sit on the phone with me for hours while he plays his game. We'll talk, but we could be silent on the phone, but just be in each other's company, but never say a word about not liking somebody. Now, I always just waited to get to school to see him. Now, it was one day, over time, this brother done come sliding through. And I don't remember what he said, but it got on the conversation about his brother, asking me, do I like him or something like that? And I was like, I was like, yeah, I like him. I don't remember how it went. But I was like, yeah. He gonna tell me, he said, oh, well, my brother said he don't like you. He likes somebody else. Or he like the cheerleader type, a more girly girl. Because when I was in high school, you know, I played sports, and not to mention, I used to rap as well. So he was like, he like more girly girls. He don't like girls that rap and, you know, play sports. So in other words, he don't like no tomboy. So, you know, and I believed it, you know, too. Just, you know, I was like, you know, why would he lie about it? So it causes me to just, okay, push that out of my mind. He likes somebody else. So I never pursued anything. So whenever I see him at the locker, it was so confusing because when we'll go to the locker, he's always there, like, you know, standing behind me or trying to hug me or something like that. And I was just confused. I was like, well, maybe he just trying to be nice to me. So here goes the confusion. Now, come on now. Somebody say confusion. Here goes the confusion. So it's almost like he's sending mixed signals, but really he's not sending mixed signals. His attitude towards me has always been the same. It's just that the snake done come slithering through, telling me something different, that he likes somebody else and he ain't checking for me. So of course, I'm like, 15, so I'm just probably gonna, back off and fall off, right? So after his brother had told me that, of course, I naturally, I kind of fall back. And so I remember him always, trying to have a conversation or talk to me and be like, hey, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing, I'm good, I'm just trying to withdraw myself now because, you like somebody else. This is what I'm believing. So, but he was still the same, always called me. Not to mention, I think one time I had detention. Well, I had detention. Don't ask me why I had detention. I don't know. I can't remember. But guess who picks me up from detention? Because he used to play football too. So when he found out I had detention, he was like, well, I take you home. And I was like, okay. So I was just like, well, once again, still confused because he's the same. He's the same, but neither one of us said anything about liking each other. So I remember one time before, he had picked me up from detention after he got out of practice, and he came back to get me. And, took me home. Like I say, look, as soon as I get in the house, he make it home, he called me. Like I said, I ain't say nothing, he ain't say nothing. Now, somebody say, revealing truth. God has a way of revealing the truth. So the school year is wrapping up. So it's about to be the summertime. He tells me, he drops the bomb on me. He was like, we getting ready to move, back out of town, back to his hometown. And I was just like, dang, man. I was looking forward to seeing him for 4 more years or 3 more years. I was looking forward to it. So I'm just like crushed about that. Like I say, we still ain't never said that all school year. We still share the same locker, everything. We was still cool. We had a lot of times where we was flirting and stuff, but I still didn't say nothing. Now, let's speed this up. Years go by, after he moved and, and stuff like that. It might have been like I was 19 now, probably like 19. I'm pretty sure we finished, high school. And I saw him on Facebook, or I don't remember if he saw me and added me, but either way, we got back in touch now. All right, revealing truth. Now, all these years, I always wondered, was that true what the brother told me? Because it never made sense. So, it used to be in the back of my mind. I'm like, God, I need to know about this because that was weird. So, we finally got in touch and we was on the phone talking. And I thought about it. So, and I brought it up. I was like, you remember we was in high school, right? And when he saw me, he was like, when he first saw me on Facebook, he was like, oh my gosh, call me. I can't believe I'm, talking to you. I thought I'd never see you again or talk to you again. So that's what made me think about it and ask him. I was like, when we was in school, your brother had told me that you didn't like me. Like you wasn't feeling my type. You ain't like me. He was like, what? He was like, I ain't never told him nothing like that. I thought she was the coolest girl, and you rap and you play sports. And he was like, we used to talk on the phone all the time. I was like, so you like me? He was like, yeah, that's why I share my locker with you. I said that, boy. Now, hold up now. We all know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right. So now, not to mention, now I already talked to him. He done told me that was a lie. Okay. So I was friends with the brother on Facebook. He was liking, my posts and stuff back then. He write me like, what's up? You still do music and stuff like that? We got to talking. And I remember like he asked me, have I talked to certain different people at the high school? And so anyway, I brought that up to him about his brother. Because he was like, they haven't seen each other because they went their separate ways. I think they was, related, brothers through marriage or something like that. And I confronted his behind. And tell me why he told me. He was like, yeah, I lied because I had a crush on you, but you like my brother. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, but I'm telling y'all this story to let you know that if you dealing with a situation right now that he say, she say, well, people are, spewing lies, do not take that stuff all in. I would say, go to the person or, continue to pray and ask God for clarity. That's what I did. It took some time now, it took some years because, like I say, this connection was delayed. And not to mention, after that, we found out we liked each other. We started dating. we started dating, but because we were still young and we lived far apart, you know, we just couldn't maintain something like that at that time. But it's like, man, when you think about the way people can be jealous, and I knew, you know, now looking at like you jealous of his brother because, you know, he was more outgoing, he played sports, and a lot of girls did like him, and he was one of those guys that was really reserved, like good looking, but reserved. He wasn't out there, he wasn't in the clubs, you know, stuff like that. He was very reserved. So, you know, and I'm just like, man, it's like a lot of people can really, you know, damage relationships or cause confusion amongst people. There are people right now that, you know, you're friends or you're closer with somebody or you're in a relationship with somebody, the same person that somebody tried to keep you from, some kind of way, God revealed the truth and brought y'all together. So, like I said, I'm just telling this story because it came back to my mind. Maybe it's something that I need to think about again and be mindful of, you know, in my future. Or maybe right now you're dealing with it. You stuck in between, you know, this he say, she say, you don't know who to believe. But I come to tell you that God will always reveal the truth. You know, I would like to say these things only happen when we're teenagers in, you know, high school or college. But unfortunately, these things happen, you know, all of our life. And for the rest of your life, it can still happen to you. And so, and just to mention this, to this day, me and this guy is still cool. He's still on my social media platforms, show love to everything that I do, and, you know, always liking my stuff, watching my stories. Look, so I don't want to make this video too long, but however, this is just something to, you know, to stay mindful of, not allowing everybody to just speak into your life and you just take it and believe it, because like I said, a lot of connections have been destroyed because somebody came, you know, spewing lies and, you know, planting bad seeds. There is always something. Let me tell you something. I'm a firm believer. When you doing great in life and you shining, there's always somebody watching, looking to sabotage, you know, anything that you may be doing, or, you know, trying to sabotage a connection because maybe they just want a piece of it. They trying to push somebody else out so they can get it. But when it's not for you, you will not have it. You know what I'm saying? So what's yours, it's always going to find a way. Or when God wants you to know the truth about something, he's always going to find a way to reveal truth, because this guy was innocent and how he felt towards me was genuine and pure, just like his actions. But like I say, young, neither one of us speaking on it. So somebody came in and was, you know, hating and jealous. And not to mention, it wasn't just towards me, it was towards his own brother, you know, lying on his name and, you know, making him appear to be, you know, the bad guy, or, you know, he talking bad about me, and that never happened. But, you know, the truth came out. I just want y'all to catch them diamonds and just stay aware of those things.